It's always right before something shifts that the weight feels the heaviest. Life knows how to test you at the breaking point. That's when the bills pile up, the relationships strain, and your mind starts whispering, maybe it's not worth it. But those whispers are lies, distractions sent to break your focus when you're closer than you realize. Pressure doesn't come without reason. You've got to look at the season you're in right now and understand it's not random. It's targeted. Your struggle is evidence that you're carrying something too valuable to just hand over without a fight. The enemy doesn't chase people with nothing inside them. If you're being chased, it's because there's gold inside you. You've got to shift your perspective on these challenges. Instead of asking, why me? Start asking, why now? Because the timing of your pressure is not accidental. You don't face this kind of heat unless you're about to step into something greater. The struggle is the signal that the breakthrough is near. Think about athletes training for a championship. It's in the final days before the game that the training gets the most intense. The body aches, the fatigue sets in, but that's the exact moment when the body is being prepared to perform at its highest level. Life works the same way with your dreams. Some of you have been working so long that quitting seems easier than pressing. But understand this, if you give up now, you'll never know how close you were. You might be one phone call, one email, one opportunity away from everything changing. Don't let the wait convince you it's over. It's just proof you're still in the fight. Diamonds don't get made on easy days. They're formed in fire, under pressure, deep in the earth where nobody sees the process. That's where you are right now, in the unseen, in the pressure, in the heat. And if you endure this moment, you'll come out shining like never before. The toughest moments always come before the breakthrough. You've got to train yourself to recognize that heaviness as a sign you're almost there. You've got to push when it hurts, because the blessing is closer than the pain wants you to believe. Let me tell you the truth that people don't want to hear. If you quit, you lose. That's it. No way around it. You can pray about it, cry about it, complain about it, but quitting shuts the whole thing down. Once you stop moving, your dream has no chance of living. See, people confuse being tired with being done. You can be tired, but that doesn't mean you're done. You can take a break, but that doesn't mean you walk away. Every single person who ever made it big had days when they wanted to quit. The difference is they didn't. They stayed in the fight even when they had no strength left. Quitting is permanent. It cancels every ounce of progress you've made. And the saddest part is, most people quit right before they were about to win. They let the frustration speak louder than the vision. They let the pain erase the progress. But if they had just pushed a little further, everything would have changed. Think about this. If you stop digging, you'll never know how close you were to striking gold. People walk away from dreams because they don't see instant results. But the seed doesn't grow overnight. You've got to keep watering, keep working, keep believing, even when it looks like nothing's happening. Your consistency is the key. Quitting breaks consistency. And consistency is what produces results. It's not about big moves all the time. It's about showing up day after day, even when it's boring, even when it's hard. That's how progress is built. Ask yourself, if you quit now, how will you explain it to yourself years later? How will you look back and tell your future self, I was close, but I walked away? That kind of regret cuts deeper than failure. Failure teaches, but quitting erases. You don't have to be perfect to win. You just have to refuse to quit. Every single day you choose to keep going, you're one step further than the person who gave up. Quitting guarantees failure, but pushing gives you a chance to win. Struggle is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you're chasing something worth fighting for. If you were chasing nothing, there would be no resistance. The fact that obstacles are standing in your way is confirmation that the dream you're chasing matters. Struggle is not a roadblock. It's evidence you're on the right road. Every dream has a price tag. And the payment comes in sweat, in tears, in long nights when nobody claps for you. That struggle is the down payment for your future. You can't expect a life-changing reward without life-changing effort. The struggle is not there to stop you, it's there to shape you. Think about people who took the easy route. They have no scars, no battles, no lessons, but they also have no reward. Easy never produced greatness. Easy never created history. Easy never left a legacy. If you're struggling, it's because, you've chosen the hard but meaningful path. The weight of your struggle is building muscles you'll need later. The obstacles you face today are the training ground for the victories you'll face tomorrow. What you're fighting through right now is equipping you for stages and blessings you can't even see yet. And here's the thing, struggle is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter where you came from or what you started with, struggle levels the playing field. Everyone who has ever achieved something great had to face it. The only difference between winners and quitters is who decided to endure. Stop cursing your struggle and start recognizing it as your proof. It proves you're alive in the fight. It proves your dream is valuable. It proves you're pushing against resistance that only shows up when you're moving forward. Nobody struggles sitting still. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself, the struggle is not the end, it's the evidence. It's the sign that you're on the right track, closer than you think to the very thing you've been praying and working for. One of the hardest things in life is waiting. You've prayed, you've worked, you've sacrificed, and still nothing seems to be moving. That's when the enemy of your mind whispers, maybe it's not for you, maybe it's never going to happen. But you've got to silence that voice because delay is not denial. Think about a farmer planting seeds. He doesn't walk out to the field the next day and expect a harvest. He knows the ground is working even when he can't see it. That's the same with your dream. Just because it hasn't surfaced yet doesn't mean nothing's happening. The delay is part of the process. There's a difference between not yet and never. But most people treat not yet like it's the end. They walk away from the field before the harvest shows up. Don't make that mistake. Sometimes the longer the wait, the bigger the blessing. Delays test your patience. They test your faith. They test whether you really want what you say you want. If everything came instantly, you'd never develop strength, character, or appreciation. The wait is working on you just as much as it's working on your dream. Some of the blessings in your life are not showing up yet because you're not ready to handle them. If they dropped in your lap too soon, you might mismanage them, waste them, or lose them. The delay is preparing you, building you, stretching you, so when the blessing comes, you'll be able to keep it. You've got to start looking at delays differently. Instead of saying, nothing's happening, start saying, something's being prepared. Instead of saying, it's over, start saying, it's not my time yet. Perspective will change the way you endure the wait. Delay doesn't cancel destiny, it just changes the schedule. You've got to trust that what's meant for you will find you, but only if you keep walking, keep believing, and keep building while you wait. Right now, even if you don't realize it, somebody is watching you. They're watching how you handle setbacks. They're watching how you respond when life gets tough. They're watching whether you fold under pressure or rise above it. And the truth is, you may never know who you're inspiring just by not giving up. It might be your children. It might be your siblings. It might be a friend or a coworker who never told you they admire you, but they're paying attention. Every time you push through, you give someone else permission to believe they can do the same. Your persistence could be the reason somebody else doesn't quit. Think about how you feel when you see someone overcome adversity. It sparks something in you. It makes you say, if they can do it, maybe I can too. That's the power of your example. Without even realizing it, your fight is fueling someone else's faith. This is why quitting is bigger than just you. When you give up, it doesn't only affect your life, it affects everyone watching you. You might never know the ripple effect your persistence has, but trust me, it's bigger than you think. Somebody is studying your moves. They're looking at how you keep going with less than they have. They're watching you grind without excuses. They're seeing your tears, your struggles, your effort, and they're saying to themselves, if they can survive this, I have no excuse. You can't underestimate the power of your example. What feels small to you might be life-changing to someone else. What feels like survival to you looks like inspiration to somebody who's barely hanging on. Your refusal to quit could be the very thing that saves them. So don't think your fight is just about you. Somebody's watching, somebody's learning, somebody's drawing strength from your persistence, and you owe it to yourself and to them to keep pushing forward. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't need every door to open. You just need one. That one yes, that one opportunity, that one chance can shift your entire life. But here's the problem. Most people give up before they get to it. Closed doors are not the end. They're redirection. Every no is moving you closer to the right yes. But if you quit walking after hearing rejection, you'll never reach the door that was meant for you. You've got to keep knocking until the right one opens. Rejection is not always rejection. It's protection. That closed door you cried about might have been the thing that saved you from walking into something that would have destroyed you. Every door is not your door, and you've got to be okay with that. Persistence is what gets you to the right door. Opportunities rarely show up for people who quit. They show up for people who refuse to stop showing up. Every no makes your story stronger. Every setback sharpens your focus. Every rejection builds your resilience. Think about how many people were told no before they became legends. Authors, athletes, entrepreneurs, actors, all of them faced rejection. The only difference is they didn't stop knocking. They believed that the next door could be the door. And when the right door opens, it won't matter how many times you heard no. One right door makes all the wrong ones worth it, but you'll never see it if you give up. So every time you face rejection, remind yourself, this isn't the end. This is just another step toward the right opportunity. The next door could be the one that changes everything. Failure has tricked so many people into thinking they're not good enough. They hit a wall, fall flat on their face, and assume it means the dream isn't for them. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every time you fail, you've learned something you didn't know before. Think about how you learned to walk. You didn't come out of the womb running. You stumbled, you fell, you scraped your knees, but every fall was teaching you balance. Every stumble was building your coordination. Without those failures, you'd have never learned to walk. The same applies to your goals. Failure is feedback. It tells you what works and what doesn't. It points out the adjustments you need to make. It's not there to destroy you. It's there to educate you. Every great inventor, every great leader, every great achiever used failure as a classroom. But here's the problem. Most people drop out of the class too early. They experience one or two failures and call it quits. They take a temporary defeat and label it a permanent identity. That's why so few make it, because only a few are willing to stay enrolled in the school of failure. You've got to reframe your mindset about failure. Stop saying, I failed. Start saying, I learned. Stop looking at it as a dead end and start seeing it as a detour. Failure is nothing more than redirection with lessons attached. When you understand this, you stop fearing failure. You start embracing it. You start saying, all right, that didn't work. Let's try again with what I know now. And every time you do that, you get sharper, wiser, stronger. Failure is just education. It doesn't mean you're disqualified. It means you're in training for something greater. Don't quit the class. You're smarter than you were yesterday, and that's progress. Think about everything you've already been through to get here. Think about the nights you cried yourself to sleep, the times you almost gave up, the sacrifices you made. You've paid too much to walk away now. You've invested too much pain to cash out before the promise. Walking away now would mean all those struggles were for nothing. It would mean every tear, every sacrifice, every sleepless night was wasted. You've got to decide that quitting is not an option because you didn't come this far just to come this far. When you're climbing a mountain, the hardest part isn't the bottom, it's near the top. That's when your body screams to quit, when your legs feel like they can't carry you anymore. But that's also when you're closest to the peak. That's why you can't turn back. You're too close. Look back for a second, not to regret, but to remind yourself how far you've come. You've already overcome challenges you thought would kill you. You've already survived storms you thought would drown you. If you made it through that, what makes you think you can't survive this moment? Sometimes you've got to talk to yourself. You've got to say, I didn't survive all that just to quit now. I didn't push through hell just to stop on the edge of heaven. Self-talk is fuel when motivation runs low. You are standing on ground you prayed to be on years ago. Don't forget that. What you call hard now was once something you begged for. Don't dishonor your journey by turning back when you've already proven you can survive so much. You've come too far to turn back. If you quit now, you'll never know how close you were. Keep climbing. The top is closer than you think. We live in a world where everyone wants things instantly. Fast food, instant downloads, same-day delivery. But destiny doesn't work on human schedules. It works on divine timing, and divine timing is always perfect. You may think you're ready, but sometimes you're not. Sometimes the delay isn't punishment, it's preparation. What looks like silence is actually strategy. What feels like a pause is God positioning things behind the scenes. Think about it. If you got everything you wanted the moment you asked, you'd never learn discipline. You'd never build character. You'd never appreciate the blessing when it came. Timing matters just as much as the blessing itself. Some of the greatest heartbreaks in life come from people rushing into something before the time was right. They forced doors open instead of waiting for the right one. And when the blessing came too soon, it turned into a burden. Timing protects you from that. You've got to trust that what's meant for you will not miss you, but it will arrive when you're ready to handle it. You may not see why the wait is necessary, but looking back, you'll realize it saved you. While you're waiting, don't complain, prepare. Don't get bitter, get better. Waiting time is never wasted time when you use it to sharpen yourself. When the moment finally comes, you'll be ready and you won't fumble it. God's timing is not late, it's not early, it's perfect. And when it shows up, it'll feel like everything happened suddenly, but really, it was being built piece by piece the whole time. Nobody likes pressure, but pressure is necessary. Without pressure, muscles don't grow. Without resistance, there's no strength. Without struggle, there's no maturity. The weight you're carrying right now isn't crushing you, it's shaping you. Pressure reveals what you're made of. It squeezes out the weakness, the excuses, the fear. It forces you to dig deeper, to find strength you didn't know you had. Without pressure, you'd never tap into your full potential. Think about how a seed grows. It's buried in dirt, pressed down, covered up, and left in darkness. That pressure activates life inside it. Without being buried, the seed would never grow. You're the same way. The pressure you feel right now is activating something inside you. Growth is never comfortable. You can't stay in the same place, doing the same things, expecting a new level. Pressure forces change. It pushes you out of comfort zones and into growth zones. The truth is, most people run from pressure. They look for the easy way out. But the easy way out never produces greatness. If you want to be more, you've got to endure more. You've got to accept that pressure is part of the process. And here's the beauty. Pressure doesn't last forever. It's seasonal. But what it builds in you is permanent. Strength, wisdom, resilience, those are things you keep for life. So don't curse the pressure. Embrace it. Understand it's making you stronger, sharper, better. Pressure is producing growth that you'll thank yourself for later. Pain is temporary, but dreams are permanent. The pain you're feeling right now is just a season. It hurts, it's heavy, it's real, but it won't last forever. The dream you're chasing, though, will outlive the pain if you hold on long enough to see it through. Every champion has a story of pain. Athletes push through injuries. Entrepreneurs push through bankruptcies. Leaders push through criticism. The dream demands pain as proof that you really want it. If the dream wasn't bigger than the pain, you'd have quit already. The fact that you're still here, still pushing, still believing, means something inside you knows it's worth it. That dream is calling louder than the pain is screaming. Pain has a way of lying to you. It tells you it will last forever. It convinces you there's no point. But if you've lived long enough, you know pain always passes. What once broke you eventually became a memory. This pain will too. You've got to keep your eyes on the vision. Don't stare at the pain. Stare at the promise. Focus on what's waiting on the other side. When the dream stays in front of you, the pain behind you loses its power. The dream is your fuel. It's what gives meaning to the struggle. It's what turns pain into purpose. Without a dream, the pain feels pointless. But with a dream, the pain becomes the price you're willing to pay. Your dream is bigger than the pain. Don't measure your future by what you're feeling today. Keep pushing because the reward will outshine the struggle. Success doesn't always come with big leaps. Sometimes it's built on tiny, unglamorous, repetitive steps that nobody sees. Those small steps might not feel like much in the moment, but they add up to something massive over time. Too many people give up because they underestimate small progress. They think if it's not flashy, it's not working. But the truth is, small steps are what create momentum. They're what separate dreamers from doers. Think about building a house. You don't start with the roof. You start with one brick. One brick doesn't look like a house. But if you keep laying them, eventually you'll have walls, then rooms, then a home. Dreams are built the same way. It's easy to overlook daily effort, but those little habits, the early mornings, the extra hours, the consistent practice, they're compounding, stacking, multiplying. One day you'll look back and realize those tiny steps created a giant leap. Small steps also keep you moving when you don't feel strong. You don't have to run every day. Sometimes walking is enough. Sometimes crawling is enough. The key is not speed, it's consistency. And the best part is, small steps are sustainable. Anyone can take them. You don't need money, fame, or connections to start moving. All you need is discipline to take the next small step in front of you. Never despise small beginnings. Every giant tree started as a tiny seed. Every great achievement began with one step. Small steps still count, so keep moving no matter how slow it feels. Storms are part of life. They come suddenly, they shake you, they scare you, but they never last forever. Every storm eventually runs out of rain. Every dark cloud eventually breaks open to reveal the sun again. When you're in the middle of a storm, it feels endless. It feels like the rain will never stop. But storms are temporary. They're seasonal interruptions, not permanent conditions. You've got to remind yourself of that when life feels unbearable. Storms test your foundation. They reveal whether you built your life on sand or on rock. If your vision, your faith, your determination is strong, the storm won't break you. It may bend you, but it won't destroy you. The mistake most people make is quitting during the storm. They assume the rain is a sign they'll never see sunshine again. But if you just wait it out, you'll see the clouds clear and you'll realize the storm was preparing you for something brighter. Some storms even serve a purpose. They water seeds you planted. They wash away things that weren't meant for you. They strip you of baggage you didn't realize you were carrying. Storms can feel destructive, but sometimes they're cleansing. You've got to learn how to hold steady when the winds blow. Don't panic. Don't run. Anchor yourself in your purpose and ride it out. The calmer you are in the storm, the stronger you'll be when it passes. Storms don't last forever. The sun is coming back. The key is making sure you're still standing when it does. Winning isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. Winners don't always feel strong, but they show up anyway. They show up tired, they show up scared, they show up unprepared, but they show up. And that's what sets them apart. Most people think winners are special. They think they're lucky, gifted, chosen. But if you look closer, you'll see they just refused to quit. They kept showing up long after others walked away. Consistency beats talent when talent doesn't show up. Discipline beats motivation when motivation runs dry. Winners know that success doesn't always come to the smartest or the strongest. It comes to the ones who refuse to disappear. Showing up doesn't always mean performing perfectly. Sometimes it just means being present. Sometimes it just means giving what little you have that day. But those little show-ups add up. They create habits, and habits create results. There will be days when you don't feel like it, days when everything in you says stay home, quit, stop trying. Those are the days that matter most because when you show up despite those feelings, you build resilience. Winners don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait to feel ready. They move forward even when it's messy, even when it's inconvenient. And because they keep moving, opportunities eventually collide with their kopso. Consistency. Winners keep showing up. That's their secret. Not luck, not magic, just the decision to keep standing in the place where blessings are most likely to land. There's something inside you that nobody else has. A gift, a talent, a vision that's uniquely yours. It's not an accident. It was placed in you for a reason, and the world is waiting for it. But if you quit now, that gift never gets released. Too many people bury their gifts because of fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But those fears don't erase your assignment. They don't change the fact that your gift was given to bless others. You've got to understand your gift is bigger than you. It's not just about your success, your money, your comfort. Somebody out there needs what you carry. Somebody's breakthrough is attached to your obedience. When you hide your gift, the world suffers. Think about how many songs would have never been sung, books never been written, businesses never been built if people had let fear silence them. Think about how much we would have lost if they gave up. Your gift is your responsibility. It's not optional. If you've been given something, it's your duty to develop it, use it, share it. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs the original version of you. Even if you feel small, even if you feel unnoticed, understand this. Your gift has weight, it has value, it has impact, and the moment you release it, you'll realize how many people were waiting on you. The world needs your gift. Don't rob it by quitting. Don't silence it by fear. Don't bury it by doubt. Somebody's waiting on what only you can bring. The hardest part of any journey is right before the breakthrough. That's when your body aches, your spirit feels empty, and your mind screams, quit. But that's also when you're closest to the finish line. The struggle always intensifies right before success. You can't measure your progress by how you feel. Feelings lie. They tell you you're failing when you're really advancing. They tell you you're stuck when you're actually inches away from the win. Don't trust your feelings in the final stretch. Think about running a marathon. At mile 25, the pain is unbearable. Every muscle is on fire. But that's also when the finish line is within reach. If you stop then, you'll never know you were only minutes away from victory. Most people give up at the edge of their blessing. They walk away not realizing they were one more try, one more step, one more prayer away. The difference between those who win and those who lose is often just persistence in the final stretch. You've got to push when you feel weakest. You've got to believe when doubt is loudest. You've got to dig deeper when everything in you says stop, because that extra push is what separates almost from accomplished. Remember, breakthroughs don't announce themselves. They don't give warnings. They just show up suddenly. And if you quit before it arrives, you'll miss it. You're closer than you think. Don't let exhaustion fool you. Don't let frustration blind you. The finish line is nearer than it feels, and if you just hold on a little longer, you'll see it.